channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
NFL Week 15 is here, guys. Playoffs is around the corner. Battle for divisions, playoff spots, and your fantasy playoffs as well should be starting now. Maybe it already started. We'll look at three big games like usual. Teaser and underdog options as well. Underdog options. Upset alert continues to hit, guys, at a high rate. Both cash last week. Hopefully you tailed both the Chargers and Jags. We're just hitting around 70% on the year in free play underdog upsets. Hopefully you have been tailing. It's been the best segment, been the best bet for me this year. The other markets have been up and down for the most part. Spreads have been good in the mid 60s. This week, Rams versus Lions. We'll talk about big game there in the NFC. Bills versus Pats. Doesn't get much bigger than this game. And then Monday Nighter, like always, guys, we talked to Monday Nighter. Dolphins versus Steelers. Sneaky good game because it is important for both teams. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping for client opportunities, records, resume, client comments, and more. Currently handicapping the NFL, UFC, PGA, and the NHL. Keep in mind, PGA and UFC will be on break. PGA will be back mid-January, and then the UFC is taking a 6-week break after the card this week. Last card for the UFC is this week for 2025. We'll be breaking that down, of course. Look out for that podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, please like the video. It does help out a ton. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, please review, share as well. I know I have a lot of listeners over there. These days, it's much appreciated. Christmas giveaway. You can see I'm in the Christmas spirit a little bit with the few decorations that I was able to put up, the graphics as well. I was able to add into the video. Hopefully you guys do like it. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube. But we have a Christmas giveaway this year. We're going to pick out two commenters or reviewers, right? Reviewers over on Spotify and Apple. YouTube will be commenters. $50 gift card I'll be giving away along with a free subscription as well. You can pick. I'll give you guys the options. I'll reach out and pick two random winners. It'll be after, but just before the holidays. So the week of like December 22nd, around that time, I'll pick out a winner. So leave your comments, like the video, and on Spotify, you can review. I can, confirm who it is. Just leave your name in the review. Let's get into a couple rants, guys. We have a couple rants, not just one rant this week. And it's going to be the Ravens and Bucs rant. Let's start with the Ravens. Not often do I like to complain about the refs, guys. I don't do it a ton. This week's warranted. The refs actually gave the Steelers the game. There wasn't just 1, 2, 3 calls. A lot of you guys saw 3 calls. I'm sure most of you probably didn't agree with those calls. Maybe 1 you agreed, maybe 2 you didn't, maybe at least 1 you didn't. Because at least the refs said they were wrong about one, which is rare. Travis Jones, 15-yard penalty and unnecessary roughness on a field goal. It just doesn't happen. They called it. Then they get it at the 1-yard line, run for a touchdown, 7 points. Everyone saw the Isaiah Likely. You could argue that you hate the call, of course, but you can also argue that the rule sucks. Football move in the end zone? You have 2 feet down, you have the catch, you extend. What's a football move in the end zone? You're not moving upfield. So you have 2 feet down, he did a football move, he moved the ball forward, and then it was knocked out. So if you catch the ball in the back and you have 2 feet down, it counts. You're not making a football move. Just very confusing. So I believe that was the catch. You'll see a lot of examples out there too on X that other people making the catch and they didn't call it. So that happens all the time. Then the Aaron Rodgers call, which should have been a fumble, but they gave it back to them. Buchanan had 2 hands on the ball. One of Aaron Rodgers' hands was on top of Buchanan's. On top of it, not under it. Buchanan should have got the ball. So 3 missed calls. Then there was another big call that was missed, and it was offensive pass interference on DK Metcalf. It was one of the opening plays of the game. 50-yard pass by Aaron Rodgers. When does that happen? How could that happen? Only if there was pass interference on the offense. And they missed it. They called it on Zay Flowers 2 weeks ago and took away a touchdown. Upsetting. Tough to watch. I'm not going to sit here and say Ravens played great, but they did enough to win. They played great in the second half. First half was terrible. And yes, this Baltimore Ravens team is not the same Baltimore Ravens team I know you guys probably thought would be. Right? Who had the Baltimore Ravens not in a top 10 power rank? Nobody in the world. You wouldn't think they'd be 6 and 7 fighting for the playoffs? Come on. That's crazy. But they're not getting any help. So, yeah, little rant there. And the other rant's going to be the Buccaneers, who I had a survivor play on. It's funny because the 2 picks that I had lined up, that teams I had available for this week, was Baltimore and Tampa. So I would have lost either way. So that's just how the cookie crumbles. You're losing 20% game, right? Bucs win that game at home as an 8.5 favorite 80% of the time. Not on the spread, of course. The game outright. In an 8.5 favorite at home versus a rookie QB and a 2-8 and a 2-10 Saints team. It's an 80% play. It doesn't hit. So nothing I can do about it, right? It's the right play. Bucs don't show up. Mayfield didn't play great. It's the defense. The Bucs defense did not play great. Bucs were getting healthier. Godwin was back, looked good. Bucky Irving was back. Frustrating. Frustrating. Anytime you make it past Thanksgiving in Survivor, you did well. You did well, but not good enough to win anything, right? Because if you're getting out to Thanksgiving, you're probably, in my tournament, there's 200 entries left from like 4,000. Only play I could go. And like I said, I had Baltimore was the other option, so I would have been out either way. That's just how it sets up in Survivor. So, yeah, a couple of rants there. Frustrating. And I had Bucs on the teaser. I gave it out on the podcast as well. They ruined the weekend. Power rankings, guys. Quick update. Jags make the first appearance. Their first appearance, Jags. Well-deserved. 10th. Texans climbing the rankings. Big win last week. They continue to climb the rankings. That defense is scary, guys. Big win in Arrowhead. Tough to win there, guys. Very tough. And then Eagles fall out. Fall out. Who had this, guys? The Lions, the Eagles, and the Ravens not in the top 10 power rankings at week 15. Nobody. That's crazy. But that's football. That's why we love it, right? It's crazy. Crazy times. Now, I think the Lions will end up getting back, and maybe the Eagles as well. Ravens, tall task. I don't think they can get back up in there, not with that record. Now, if Ravens beat Bengals and then beat the Pats, the number 1 ranked power team, the Pats, I could maybe get Ravens in there. They can start getting in there when you beat those back-to-back wins. They may get in there at 10. We'll see, though, right? Tall task. That's a big maybe, guys. Let's get into it. Let's get into this. Bills, -1. They are favored at New England, guys. The Buffalo Bills are favored -1 at New England, total 49.5. The books still aren't sold on the Patriots, guys. Maybe some of us aren't either. Now, I expected the Patriots to be a lot better this year, playing for a wild card spot. That's what I thought. That was my prediction at the beginning of the year. Obviously, exceeded expectations. I think for most people, they exceeded expectations. They went into Buffalo, beat Buffalo already. But the strength of schedule is worth mentioning, guys. That was their best win, and then they beat the Bucs. That was their other win. And the Bucs win's not looking that great, right? Bucs kind of just fell apart as of late. So I do get the skepticism, especially from the books. I am not 100% sold on the Patriots being like a Super Bowl contender. I think they're a really good team. There's a reason why they're number one power ranked. They're beating who they're playing, and they're 11-2, so I can't really change that. Their schedule is their schedule, guys. However, the next 2 weeks will tell us a ton about them. Will tell us a ton. The Bills and the Ravens, back-to-back weeks. If you can win against Buffalo, I don't think they're going to win both games. If they do, if they beat the Bills and the Ravens, hats off, I'm going to bend the knee. They're going to be 13-2, guys. I think they split it 1-1. Wouldn't be shocked. I would be actually shocked if they go 2-0. I wouldn't be shocked if they go 0-2, actually. I wouldn't. I'm going to say 1-1. And this is a very tough game to handicap. Patriots won 10 straight games. Coming off a bye at home. Great. It looks like a great spot on paper. Bills, however, playing a lot better football, guys. Back-to-back wins. Their defense showed up big time in Pittsburgh. Obviously against Joe Burrow. It's a tall task to look good, in my opinion. But with Buffalo defense has been the issue. Let's be honest, right? Their offense is good for the most part, most games. Not always. Sometimes it just lays an egg. Against Miami is one of them. But Josh Allen looked great against the Bengals. Won that game single-handedly for him. Looked like the MVP from last year. 3 TDs, 0 interceptions. 78 rush yards as well. He took over the game. Looking like the MVP from last year. The Bengals D, sure, it's the Bengals D. It's a big part of it, right? Big part of it. Can he do it against the Patriots on the road here? It's a question. But Bills have been looking a lot better. Playing better football here towards the end of the season. Just that defense, can it get better? Can it improve? Right? They've been very bad against the run, guys. 29th in total rushing yards allowed. 20th in yards per play allowed. So they're allowing big plays as well. Not good. Especially when you have a guy like Henderson. Or when you have like Diggs. Diggs' revenge spot against Buffalo. So very difficult to pick a side here. For some reason, I have a gut feeling play, and it's the Bills. It's not going to make my client card, but for podcast purposes, we're going to take the Bills, and it's just all gut. Like, again, I have this as a 50-50 type of game, flip a coin. You got the Bills spot of playing good, need to win this more than the Pats, and avoid going 0-2 against the Pats and losing 4 straight to them. That's how I look at it. And I think Josh Allen maybe shows, he's playing Drake May. He doesn't want Drake May to outplay him again. There's more of a situational handicap. Of course, Allen's going to have a big game like he did against Cincinnati. That's the only way they win this game. I think he could. Good battle, though, between the Bills offense versus this Pats D. Bills on the road 3-3, whatever. Pats at home 5-2. Actually better on the road, the Patriots. Undefeated on the road. Head-to-head, the Pats have won the last 2 meetings. Prior to that, who cares? Drake May was not there. Pats 8-5 ATS on the year. Bills 6-7. So yeah, a lot of things look good for the Patriots here. That's why I'll be staying away from this game, at least for clients and personal play. Before podcast, I give out a lean or pick for every game I break down, even if I don't love it. This is a game I love to watch instead of bet it. May sneak in some player props that'll throw now. If you can get Josh Allen in the 30s rushing, I would take the over. 58 last time these two met and 78 last week. I think he's running more. Deciding to run a lot more here. So if you get it in the 30s, I would take the over. Henderson over as well rushing. He's always available or live for that big run. Or even catch out of the backfield. You get a decent run on receiving and rushing. You can look at that over as well. Game of the week. I'll be watching this one. For podcast purposes, leaning the Bills. More of a gut feeling, but Not a strong feeling. And what's the total? 49, tough. First game went under. Weather issues, could be cold, wind. Look out for that, but staying away from the total here. 49's a little high. Lions at Rams. Rams -6, total 55.5. I never thought at this time of the year the Lions wouldn't be in the top 10, guys. Here we are. Not too far out of it. 11-12 I have them sitting at. Tough schedule this year. Strength of schedule, very tough. Top 3, I believe, if I recall. Coming off a nice win versus Dallas. A game I did bet the Lions for a full unit on the spread. They'll get some extra rest here. And it was a Thursday night game, keep in mind. So the travel, not too worried about it. It's not a short week. It's a longer week. It is a West Coast travel, though. Lions won both meetings last year. Close games. One OT and one other game by 1. Keep that in mind. I like the +6 here. If I had to bet this game, it would be Lions +6. Only way I can look. I think they hang around this game. I think they're somewhat live to win outright and get their big win of the season. They haven't got that big statement win yet where their defense plays well and their offense. Now, tall task for their defense to play well against Matthew Stafford. It's going to be a very tall task. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, guys. You see the 55, very difficult to play over 55. But if you look at it, both these teams can really score. You got Lions top 3 offense versus Rams like top 5, top 6. Rams defense is solid. And we know the Lions could be scored on. So that's the only way I could look here. Lions +6, I would lean the over. Like last week, there was a high over, 54.5, Dallas and Lions. Now, Dallas's D's terrible, but that game went into the 70s, guys. So when you see high totals like this, I usually stay away. But I'm going to lean the over here. Because why not? Fun game, right? I'm not going to bet it, but if I do bet anything your favor, probably Lions +6, 6.5. Feel free to buy a half, get it to 7, get a push. There could be that 7-point win. Could be, if it goes to OT, first team to score a touchdown, it could end that way. So I wouldn't call you crazy, or I would not suggest to buy a half or by 1 point here to get to 7 on the Lions. Great game. Another great game. Great games this week, guys. Monday Night Football. Dolphins versus Steelers. Steelers -3.5. Total 41.5. I did not see this Dolphins team turning it around. Month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I said it's one of the worst teams in the NFL. Well, at that time it was, right? I guess you can't really always predict how teams are going to turn it around. McDaniel, I thought they just didn't want to play for him anymore. Now they're playing for him. Showing up, and it's the defense. It's the defense that's playing well. Their offense has been playing well at times too, but the defense has been playing great, guys. Limited Buffalo to 13 points like a month ago. 13 allowed versus Commanders, 17 versus Saints, and 10 versus the Jets. The defense has really turned a corner. Obviously, Tua playing a lot better as well. And they're live to make the playoff. They have to go, I believe they have to win. They're 6-7, right? Yeah. So they have to win outright to get 9 wins. That might not even get them in, guys. But if they win all 3, 4 of their games, I think they can get to 9 or 10 wins. They got a shot. Tall task, though. I don't think they'll do it, but I think they can hang around in this game, right? 3.5 Steelers. I would take Miami +3.5. Now, of course, you want to watch the weather concern. There's one thing you guys should really know. Don't bet Miami in cold weather games. It's just been proven to hit at a very high rate. Tua is not good in cold games. So check the weather. Right now I see 21 Fahrenheit in Pittsburgh with a chance of snow. That's not good. That's not good. So wait for the weather. If you're not concerned with the weather, let's say Dolphins hang around on this one. Metcalf's banged up. Washington probably won't play. He had a concussion. He left the Baltimore game, so I don't think he'll clear. A couple guys on D's banged up as well. Queen. If you want to bet this one, wait till Sunday, guys. Watch the weather. Betting against Miami in the cold, it's a great ticket. I remember I was in the Baltimore against Miami game in Baltimore in the cold, New Year's Eve. Baltimore won by like 35, guys. They just don't. They just don't play well, and you get it. Yes, they're from a hot climate, this and that, but it's Tua too. He just is known to play bad in the cold. Keep that in mind if you're going to bet this one. Wait until Sunday. You can't predict weather a week ahead, guys. If you're going to see snow and you're going to see very cold, 20, even below 20, could be an issue for Miami and Tua. Teaser. Let's get into the teaser missed last week due to the Bucs upset. Like I mentioned at the top of the podcast, this week we're going to look at the Bengals plus 10 at home versus the struggling Ravens. Bengals already beat them 2 weeks ago. And if Ravens do win, which I believe they could, I don't believe it's going to be by more than 10 points. Burrow's offense is clicking too much now. So take the Bengals there plus 10. Other one I like here is Eagles. Eagles -3, -2.5. These are 7-point teasers. Keep in mind, guys, these are my two favorite. Raiders. They're playing the Raiders. It's a bounce back spot at home for Philly. I know Philly's not playing great right now. I know Hurts not playing great right now. This is a perfect team to play. You cannot lose to the Raiders at home. It would be drastic for this team. So Eagles win this game. They might not cover, right? Their line is 10 out there? Yeah, they might not cover that line. But I expect them to win this game. It would be very shocking if they don't win this game at home. Underdogs, and upsets. Upset alert, right? We've been hitting these at a very high percentage. Let's continue. We hit this one, we're going to be over 70% on the year, guys. So let's try to hit another one. And there's 3 options that caught my hair early. We'll talk all 3, and I'll pick one. I don't like 2 this week. We'll pick one. There's Lions. We talked about it already. I think they're live to win this game in LA. But the defense hasn't had me sold. Rams playing well. Did a little bit of a West Coast tough travel spot. So let's stay away from that. I do think Lions hang around in the game, though. The other one's the Bengals. I think they can win outright. But Ravens in a do-or-die spot. Avoid back-to-back losses to the Bengals. They would lose 2 times in 3 weeks against them. I'm going to stay away from that one. So we're going to look at Denver, guys. Denver at home against Green Bay. I'm liking how Green Bay's playing. That's the only thing that's kind of not making me love this. If I do bet, it'll be for a smaller unit. But it's going to be my favorite underdog of the week. So Denver at home. Tough place to play. I think their defense could win them this game. Obviously not sold on Knicks. I'm not loving what I'm seeing from the Denver offense. But I think their defense could steal them this game. So you're giving me Denver at home plus 125. 11-2 team. I get it. It could be a spot where, Green Bay continues to play well and find a way to win this game. But I like it more than the Lions and Bengals is what I'm trying to say here. So that will be the underdog play of the week. That will do it, guys. That will do it. UFC video, UFC podcast out tomorrow. Last UFC podcast for 6 weeks. So look out for that. And then, of course, we'll be here every week for the NFL. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this week.